There's a lot of ways that somebody could attack you from the mount position. It could be a two-hand choke. They could pin your arms to the ground. They could just literally sit on top of you and just whale punches. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. If we focus on attacking the base and the overall just balance and posture of the person that's attacking you, aka we attack the position itself, then it doesn't matter what they're doing with their hands because we're still gonna be able to escape. We're gonna break this into two parts. I'm gonna first show you different ways to escape from the mount in general, and then we'll just add in the different attacks with the hands. But at the end of the day, again, our focus is attacking the base of the person, right? So if he's got me in mount, I have to understand that in order for him to do anything with his hands, he has to be in control of the position, aka mount. And if I'm able to impact his base and his balance to where he's more focused on posting or having to shift his hips and shift his weight in order to offset what I'm trying to do, then he's not hitting me, he's not choking me, he's not doing anything else. What happens is people get so caught up in whatever is going on up here that they forget that I just need to focus on isolating and attacking the guy's overall base. So again, just general like ways to escape mount, right? Ideally, firmly place your feet, and I want to bump. And as I bump, again, I'm looking for them to post. Could be one arm, could be two arms, but the most simple way to get out of a mount position once they do post is a trap and roll. A couple ways that we can do this depending on, again, how they're posted. If they're really far out with their hands, it might be difficult for me to reach. If they post kind of close, or even if they reach out a little bit, right, I can look to trap the arm this way. Otherwise, if they reach a little bit farther, I'm gonna look to grab their hips. I'm gonna suck myself to their stomach as much as I can, and I'm gonna look to just start climbing the body, knowing that, again, he has to regain control of the position. They're naturally gonna start sitting back, and as they do that, they bring the arm to me, which allows me to get a nice firm trap. Now, if I'm able to lock my hands behind them, that's gonna be your best bet. If they're a little bit bigger, then I may be able to just kind of go with like an overhook, and I'm gonna keep that hand tucked in my chest. And again, I'm gonna suck this nice and tight. Either way, I'm looking to just trap the arm so that as I start rolling to that side, it prevents them from being able to post. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. Once I trap the arm, again, I'm going to if your feet moved or shifted, whatever, plant them again, bump your hip, roll, and we can end up on top. Now, one thing to add to this, especially if you're starting to go and you notice that they start kind of posting out with his foot a little bit, one thing that you can do is take that same side leg, and I'm just gonna trap their foot here. So now they can't post with the foot, they can't post with the hand, everything else still follows suit. I bump, I roll, and we still end up on top. So if I bumped him and he started to post, I want to immediately start looking, if I can't do the trap and roll for whatever reason, I want to start looking to get my hips at an angle, right? I don't want to be flat on my back. I want to start at least shrimping off to one side. So again, there's a couple ways that I can do that. I can, if I want to like push on both their hips, and as I push, I bump, push, and then I look to kind of shift my hip as they come back down, with the sense I'm trying to create a spot or a pocket where I can start kind of bringing my shin up so that I can now start pressing with my leg. I don't always like utilizing both hands here, right? So what I'll do is actually, once I kind of bump them a little bit and they've posted, go ahead, post, right? I'm gonna take both hands and put on one hip. And I'm gonna fully commit to one hip, and as I push off this hip, I'm gonna take my opposite hip to their hip. I'm gonna shrimp out to the side. And as I do this, I'm just looking to create a little bit of a pocket. I know that again, they want that position. They're gonna look to come right back in. So as they start pressuring back in, I again quickly bring my shin in. If I can get both legs, that's great. And now I can start utilizing this to again open up the space, create space, get kind of like an open guard position where I can start kind of utilizing kicks, or if need be, I can easily, if he does pressure in, I can pull guard. Still may not be the best position for me, but at least I'm a little bit more now in an offensive spot than obviously being under mount. Now, the last general way that we have, again, as we're bumping, we're rolling, we're pushing on the hips, is if I notice that this foot's kind of hanging a little bit loose and a little bit farther down, right? Maybe the knees shift a little bit. I'm gonna take my leg that's closest to it, I'm gonna completely extend it all the way. I'm gonna take my opposite leg, step all the way over, hook right around the ankle. I'm gonna pull this up and over my leg. I'm gonna figure four my feet. Now this position right here doesn't really do much for me. So what I have to do from here is now look to turn into him, but I'm gonna use this foot as a lever. And as I extend and I turn back, I'm actually allowing myself to kind of get into somewhat of like a half guard. Once again, as they start pressuring in, I use my hands and my feet to create frames to where I can now maintain that distance and keep them at bay. But once again, we've escaped them out. When someone's on top of you, as we're about to get into like the hand portion, right? My goal throughout this entire process is disrupting their position as a whole. If I can get them to post, if I can force them to kind of shift their hips, I'm creating pockets that I can start kind of getting my legs free. That then allows me to start creating space and we can get out of the position altogether, or we just roll them. Now, if the person's mounted choking, right, this is still a bad position and I want to essentially control the arms, but I'm not trying to get out of this position through the use of the arms, if that makes sense. I'm not trying to do this and then pull them in and kind of do anything like this, right? I just want to simply control the pressure, right? I don't want this person squeezing down on my neck, so I got to at least isolate, control. Maybe I can kind of start plucking a little bit, but as I'm doing whatever it is I'm doing here, I'm also now going to start attacking the hips, which means If I'm kind of doing like the plucking motion, as I pluck, I'm also gonna bump, which forces them again to post. And then from here, we just go into any of the mount escapes that you wanna do. And again, you can always kind of start with one, switch to the other again, depending on how this person reacts. So maybe I come here and I start kind of climbing, whatever, he starts resisting, or I notice that he drastically kind of shifts his weight to one side, right? Maybe he completely starts, yeah. So if that's the case and he creates that opening, then I'm gonna shrimp and look to come out the other side. So you can always kind of mix and match these. But again, at the end of the day, I'm looking to just simply isolate whatever it is that they're doing up here, but my focus is down here. Same thing goes if he's pinning the wrists. I'm not gonna try and bench press him, right? I need to attack the base. So what do? I post again, I bump, and I'm looking for one or both hands to post on the mat. Now I can help him with this by also kind of dropping my elbows at the same time. So as I bump, I drop my elbows, he posts, and then once again, we go into any of those mount escapes. Probably the most dangerous one is when the person's just sitting on you wailing hits, right? If he's just sitting there wailing punches, I can't sit here and take these, but I also can't sit here and try and actually block or lock up on the arms, because again, if any of those slip through, you can't take many of those. So I'm going to initially block, but the more that I can start kind of bumping and isolating his hips, the less he's gonna be hitting me, because he's not gonna be able to do anything again until he gets back to a good mount position, and then he can start wailing the punches. So understand that, yes, covering up is great at first, but I wanna bump my hips again, get him to post, trap, look to isolate things, trap and roll, hip escape, utilize ankle, whatever I need to do to get out of the position. But again, it all depends on me being able to disrupt his base and balance to begin. So at the end of the day, again, it does not matter what the person on top is doing. Choking you, hitting you, pinning you down, as long as you can disrupt their base, disrupt their balance, and essentially attack the position itself, you should be able to escape relatively easy. At the end of the day, in order for anyone to be offensive in any position, they have to first control that position to begin with. So just kind of keep that in mind. Stay safe.